Now, I have some questions for you. Are you facing any medical problems? Are you putting on too much weight? Are you losing hair? Are you feeling weak? Is your skin looking dull? Have you tried taking vitamin D? It is the new elixir. Vitamin D is being prescribed and popped by every second person. Influencers are recommending vitamin D for skin care. Family WhatsApp groups are making a case for it in post-COVID care. Medical stores are selling vitamin D supplements as essentials. But no one is telling you that vitamin D can also be deadly. You can die if you take too much of it. In fact, people have been dying. So it makes sense to spare a few minutes from your busy schedule and take a quick crash course on vitamin D. First things first, what is it? And don't get fooled by the name. Vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a prohormone. Next question. What does vitamin D do? It makes your bones and teeth stronger. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, and it helps build immunity. What are the sources of this vitamin D? Sunlight, fatty fish, the likes of salmon and tuna. Egg yolks are also a good source of vitamin D, and so are cheese, mushrooms, and fortified milk. What happens when you don't get enough of it? Your bones become fragile, you feel fatigued, your muscles start twitching. You may also experience muscle pain. A 2020 study found that almost 76% of Indians have vitamin D deficiency or vitamin D insufficiency. Why is that? Well, we spoke to some doctors and they pointed at pollution first of all. Higher pollution levels are connected with vitamin D deficiency, and very interestingly, it's the same for clothing. The more clothes you wear, the less you're exposed to the sun, and low exposure to the sun equals to low vitamin D. Also throw in the increasing nocturnal lifestyle, the trend of walking and working out indoors, the trend of spending more time between the four walls of your home or office. Long story short, vitamin D deficiency is a lifestyle problem in India. Should you be worried? Of course. Pregnant women who are vitamin D deficient are more likely to have gestational diabetes or a sudden rise in blood pressure, what's called preeclampsia. Basically, vitamin D is essential for our health. When the Wuhan Virus struck and the world's focus shifted to immunity, there was a sudden burst of information about vitamin D and its benefits. And that's how the journey to overdose began. And now that you have an idea about vitamin D, let's shift our focus back to overdose. How much is too much? It depends on your age. Infants up to 12 months are recommended to take not more than 10 micrograms of vitamin D. For 1 to 18 years, the daily intake should be 15 micrograms. And for adults up to 70 years, 20 micrograms. People are exceeding these limits, and how? One doctor said she came across 3 such cases in the last 4 months. And all of them were children. She said some had vitamin levels as high as 180 nanomoles per liter. Another had 150. What's the normal? Between 30 and 70. So what explains such high vitamin D levels? The growing obsession with immunity. Ever since the Wuhan virus struck, people are casually popping pills. So much so that the global vitamin market that was around $1.1 billion in 2020 is now expected to reach $1.6 billion by 2025, a 7% growth. People have safely assumed that there is nothing wrong in taking multivitamins whenever they want to, and that when it comes to vitamin D, there is nothing called too much. One of the doctors we spoke to also told us that to an extent the fault lies with physicians. Many, we are told are prescribing too many vitamins. Pharma companies are not complaining, and for obvious reasons. But it's the people who stand to suffer. Do you know what an overdose does to your body? It leads to headaches, what's called a false feeling of hypertension. You can also lose your appetite, have a dry mouth, be constipated, or have diarrhea. Vitamin D also controls the production of calcium in your body. Too much vitamin D means too much calcium, what doctors called hypercalcemia. It can then result in kidney stones, affect your heart and lungs. If you've been throwing up or feeling nauseous, it could be excess vitamin D. Talk to your doctor. And something we all must note at this point, it's very rare to overdose on vitamin D through a natural source. It's almost always the supplements. So the next time you snack on vitamin D pills, think twice. Track your daily dosage. Know your limit. And like I said, speak to your doctor. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.